Hello and welcome back to Parley. This one was paid for by PistilWhip. Hope you'll enjoy listening. PistilWhip wants to talk about lyrical evolution. They say, "Ahoy, Captain! For the day of mine birth, May 27th, I invoke Parley on the subject of semantic satiation, lyrical evolution and symbological analysis. For the sake of clarity, please be sure to read the contents of this Parley request in full during your response." Lyrical evolution refers to lines or concepts from a previous part in a song being revisited with new context later on. I would just like to really quickly reread that one line. Lyrical evolution refers to lines or concepts from a previous part in a song being revisited with new context later on. I want you to remember that. One of my favorite examples of this comes from critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV with the award-winning Heavensward expansion and no restriction on playtime through level 60. The theme for award-winning Shadowbringers expansion includes the following verses, emphasis added. For whom weeps the storm, her tears on our skin, the days of our years gone, our souls soaked in sin, emphasis, these memories ache with the weight of tomorrow, end emphasis. The road that we walk is lost in the flood. Here proud angels bathe in their wages of blood. Emphasis, at this the world's end do we cast off tomorrow. End emphasis. Taken together, these lines could be interpreted as, at this the world's end do we cast off these memories. However, this Parley is not about that song. Instead, I would like to direct your attention to B.B.K.K.B.K.K, read bass bass kick kick bass kick kick, a song created by artist Nora Tour for the Be a Music Source contest. Specifically, I would like to hear your opinion on the lyrical evolution from the first verse to the second. A transcript of the lyrics and link to the music video follows. For the sake of clarity, please indicate and read aloud which phrases stand out to you and how their meaning changes between the verses. Refer to symbols in the music video as necessary. Disclaimer, video contains flashing lights and rapid movement. And it's linked in the description, although I will be playing you a little snippet of the song. I think that's all that's really necessary, but a little clip of the song after I finish reading the lyrics. So I'm just going to read it in the order it's written down, but yeah. The chorus. Bass, bass, kick, kick, bass, kick, kick. Bass, bass, kick, kick, bass, bass, kick, kick. Bass, bass, kick, kick, bass, kick, kick. Bass, bass, kick, 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 kick. First verse. Bass, bass, kick, kick, bass, kick, kick. Bass, bass, kick, kick, bass, bass, kick, kick. Bass, bass, kick, kick, bass, kick, kick. Bass, bass, kick, kick, let the bass kick. Chorus repeats. Second verse. Bass, kick, kick, bass, bass. Bass, 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 kick, kick. Bass, kick, kick. Bass, bass, kick, kick. Bass, kick, 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 kick. Bass, kick, kick, bass, bass. Bass, 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 kick, kick. Song ends with, let the bass kick. Let's hear a tiny snippet of that of that.
Kick, kick, let the bass kick. Bass kick.
Let's do a little down for a sec. So there's other things in the song, just for your sanity, I want you to know
kick.
that.
Kick, kick, bass, kick, kick, bass, bass, kick, kick, bass, bass, kick, kick, bass.
All right, anyway, enough of that. It says pause for discussion. There's a pause in the video at this point. You asked me to indicate and read aloud which phrases stand out to you and how their meaning changes between the verses. Ah, yes, their meaning. Now you said refer to symbols in the music video as necessary, and to be honest, even I, a person who went to college for the act of interpreting texts, is a little lost. I think that part of the problem here is that I'm doing a little bit of detective working, thinking about why this exists, and you told me that it is for the Be a Music Source contest. The Be a Music Source context, Be Music. The idea is probably that you are part of the music. You are a music source. The vocalist here is clearly. Can you figure out what they are? A drum set, or just two drums actually. I wonder if you can figure out which two drums the vocalist is, and so I kind of know why those are the lyrics. You know what I mean? And they're not necessarily related to what the song is about. You know what I mean? If you are interested, you can, of course, again, I linked the song in the description. Now, there are a whole bunch of visuals and stuff. There's rather a lot going on the screen. Again, a video is quite a flashing light and rapid movement extravaganza, so be careful if that is something you're sensitive to. A little bit more than, like, we're not just saying that. This is pretty, it's a little stroby. But yeah, I wouldn't deign to assume exactly what all of it means. There are a lot of symbols in the video that there's that little sound. I might have to find it for you. That sound. And there's a lot of symbolism in the video that symbolism is being used in a context right now. It's about that much of a symbolism. I'm committing a symbolism upon the text, where different things are animated to the rhythm of that sound happening that are maddening things. A faucet dripping, a weight slamming on a subject's head. So is this meant to just make you lose your mind? Yes, that is the meaning, if you are trying to interpret it. Personally, I think there's something special about how toward the end of the piece, the rhythm of bass, bass, kick, kick, bass, kick, kick begins to lose its mind a little bit, and we get things like bass, kick, kick, such gems as bass, bass, and even things like bass, 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 kick, kick. I was particularly tripped up on bass, bass, kick, kick, bass, kick, 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 where I might have said the wrong number of kicks. I might have said 6 instead of 5, because there isn't 5 anywhere else in the song, because this song is because the mercury is in Gatorade, and that's where that's from. I don't really know what to say. I was reading a meme post about Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering cards, and it mentioned for comedic effect how the mercury and Gatorade thing, flame repellent compound, holds the flavor in solution in a number of like soft drink-esque things. Gatorade, Mountain Dew, I think still. That's not very good for you anyway. I mean, they're already not that good for you, so. And this song reminded me of that. It really makes me feel like Mercury and Gatorade. It really makes me feel like competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! But there's more Parley. Yes. Oh, yes. And so let's read on. For further consideration, YouTuber Vishnya made an excellent Ruina-themed cover remix of the song that depicts most of Ruina's major cutscenes and the community's memes and boss strategies within a roughly 2-minute video. However, the information is presented somewhat abstractly and so only makes sense to those who are already familiar with the contents to some degree. It's what I'd call an encoded spoiler. Put another way, if you're receptive to a summary of Ruina delivered via music video, I would like to hear your thoughts comparing the two versions of the song. The Ruina version asserts creatively by filling in the lukewarm instrumental speedrun in the last section of the song with a showcase of the different floor librarians. All in all, the flow of the original music video is very faithfully captured, layering in visuals, in-game sound effects, and even voice lines from Ruina, mostly the name of the protagonist, Roland. And so we get R.R.L.L.R.L.L for Roland. Anyway, so I'll let you hear a little bit of that now. Why not? And obviously, it's linked in the description.
kick.
Right, yes. So the game is, of course, in Korean, which means that you're not going to hear. Anyhow, let's play the end of both, and we can highlight what I think PistilWhip wants highlighted, which is the how the end is done. So here's the ending of the first one. And the ending of the roll. I keep thinking roll, land, roll, land. You can a little bit more clearly hear them saying Roland, but in Korean. Roland, a little bit more like that. I can't speak Korean to save my life. In that little segment. You get the same solo with some audible sound effects from the game. Yeah, I would say if you do want to compare the two, it is indeed a very encoded spoiler. What an interesting subject. An encoded spoiler. I know a little bit about the world of Library of Ruina, which is the game being referred to here. But not very much. I only played a little bit of Library of Ruina. I play a lot of Limbus Company, which is in the same setting. And I didn't understand anything I saw in the video. So I mean, I have some vague guesses because I know the setting, of course, but nothing that would really spoil anything. Let's talk about something though. So the subject of this parlay is lyrical evolution, and in all seriousness, I do feel like there is something to say about the lyrical evolution in a song, even when the lyrics are bass bass kick kick bass kick kick, or whatever is happening to my brain when I try to say the Roland version. There is absolutely still stuff in there. Now, obviously, the tempo or the rhythm or the syncopation of the way those lyrics are being said changes. Obviously, the meaning of them doesn't really change, in my opinion. Although, if the song has these visual metaphors of like the faucet dripping and the weight smacking on your head, and as the song goes on, you get like more repetition. At the end of the first chorus, we get kick, 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 the longest amount of repetition the song has so far. One might ask, is that a metaphor for how the song is getting repetitive? And the answer is no, but nice try. You still fail my class. No, I'm just kidding. Absolutely, there is something to be said for the way that lyrics vary over the course of a song. For example, having lyrics that are so repetitive like this really makes any change in the rhythm, any little variance, really stick out. When you get the bass kicks and the kicks of the song, it's a real payoff. It's a real treat because the rest of the song was an anti-treat, and so you get that bit of refreshment. But in seriousness, giving the listener a moment to cool off a little bit from that is a great feeling. A lot like how music is structured in general. In fact, even just instrumentally, not necessarily using words that mean things. Instruments can be added in to just kind of refresh the auditory palette. I don't know, there's probably more of a concrete understanding of that idea that I just don't know about, but it occurred to me, I'm sure that's a thing. Just like how your taste buds can be kind of reset or whatever. Now, I would like to mention that when your taste buds need some palate refreshment, there's a couple phenomenons going on there. There's your brain being able to comprehend the flavor coming in a little bit more. Oh boy, that song did the opposite of make me sleepy. Maybe it just made me physically tired. Anyway, there's your brain being able to comprehend the sensory information coming in, and then there's your tongue literally having compounds bound to it You see what I mean? A phenomenon that often happens with me is that the first sip of basically any coffee I drink, I almost always think is sort of harsh because I think I have pretty sensitive taste buds, and the initial wave of bitterness molecules or whatever binding to my tongue doesn't taste good. But once that's happened, my tongue is kind of warmed up, maybe you would say, and then I really enjoy it, and I can taste it tastes way different to me usually just on the second sip with no real meaningful delay between. I don't think that can possibly be anything like me deceiving myself into thinking I enjoy it when I don't. I feel like if that happens every single time, regardless of the quality of the coffee, that seems to be a kind of physical, taking up space process, rather than like a mental, I don't like how this tastes, but then I'm changing it process. But maybe that's wrong, I don't know. My point is that the repetition of bass, bass, kick, kick, bass, kick, kick, that's making me yawn. That's what it is, saying bass, bass, kick, kick over and over again. Triggering my yawn reflex. Damn. Anyway, why? Okay. It's wild. You try it and see if it happens to you. Anyway, um, I was going to make a snide comment that I've now lost the momentum for about how saying bass, bass, kick, kick, bass, kick, kick over and over again, hearing bass, bass, kick, kick, bass, kick, kick over and over again, not only requires a mental refresher, but also physically has an effect on one's ears. But I think that that moment has passed now. So I explained the joke to kill it, put it out of its misery. Any other lyrical analysis that can be done in here? It's a pretty bassy sounding voice. I guess. Again, did you see? As soon as I said bass, I. Damn, wow. Why? That's so weird. What's happening? Oh my goodness. Is this the secret topic of the song? Is there some kind of trick in the lyrics? Is this what it's meant to be? There's a psychological effect to reading these lyrics over and over again. I gotta stop looking at that. I'm gonna scroll down. I wish I had more to say about the Library of Ruina bit. It's cool that that was made. The idea of having a bunch of it's really random that that was made. In my mind, that seems very random, but cool. I definitely feel like it is fun to have a kind of speed run of all of the memes in a games community collected into a video. It's just really random to me that this is the place that it happened, but that happens all the time. And the Library of Ruina community is, shall we describe it as being a little bit of a cult following? I think we shall describe it that way. I've experienced this in Limbus Company too. You get less pieces of fan media, but that have like weirdly way more effort put into them. Like not all of them, of course. There's still lots of lower effort things, but it feels more like maybe you can stand out. Is that why that phenomenon happens? It's kind of like, it reminds me of the thing where when you're streaming a video game on Twitch, you don't want to stream to a category that is popular. That's what everyone thinks. They think, oh, you're streaming Fortnite, therefore you're doing it because you want to get popular and get a lot of views, and you're just following a trend. That might be true, but that would make you an idiot because you won't get any views if the game has a lot of people watching it. What matters isn't how many people are watching the game, it matters what the ratio of broadcasters to viewers is. And in games that are more popular, my experience is that the ratio of broadcasters to viewers gets worse for you as a creator. There's more people broadcasting the game relative to its popularity. And less popular games have a less low number of viewers, plenty of people watching the game, but they attract less people streaming them per person that plays the game. So in other words, maybe if 100 people play Limbus Company, only 10 of them will be moved to stream it because they feel like there's not enough people that will watch it. That is wrong, but that's how most people seem to think. And that will cause that game to have a more favorable ratio of broadcasters to viewers, leading to the unexpected result that streaming that less popular game will make you more popular than if you streamed Fortnite with 1 million viewers and 100,000 of those people are moved to stream. That means that even if it feels like an equal ratio, your stream on Twitch is buried under 999 million people's streams. And nobody will ever find your stream. And so even if the exact ratio of viewers is the same, which it isn't, I think it's better when the game is less popular, but even if it was the same or about the same, and maybe it often is, you won't be found because there's more different things for people to click on. Or like raids will consolidate people watching a stream among more people. Let's say that every time someone finishes a stream, they raid a random person in the community. You might think that that's good, but it does mean that you won't get picked by the big streams for longer, whereas the most popular stream in your little Limbus Company community or whatever, Limbus Company isn't that small of a game, by the way, will hit you in short order. There's just not that many people for that stream to pick. And so if the person doesn't raid the same person every time, then there you go. It's also just easier to connect with people when the people that are larger in the community simply have less people to collaborate with. There's just less people. There's less of a gap between you and other people. Now, I don't really do any of that stuff when I stream. I'm just saying when people do, and it's much more effective if the community isn't too big. Now, obviously, if the game is really small, it is absolutely possible that there will be basically nobody watching it. And that's its own thing. But games can be pretty niche and still be useful to stream if you like them and you want to find an audience. I just think it's interesting to consider how when these kinds of things are made, they are maybe demonstrating something about the community around the thing. It's interesting to look at this Library of Ruina cover remix, whatever you want to call it, yeah, as being kind of an artifact of the way that the Project Moon, the developer of Library of Ruina, Project Moon's games are, or the type of audience they elicit. For another example, it doesn't really surprise me in one other sense that Bass Bass Kick Kick Bass Kick Kick has been covered by someone who likes the game Library of Ruina, because they're both really niche pieces of entertainment. They're both just weird. Like that kind of makes sense to me. And when you look at the Bass Bass Kick Kick Bass Kick Kick video, the symbolism in that video is weirdly kind of similar to the vibe of the Project Moon games, just by pure coincidence, as far as I could tell. But I kind of understand the more I think about it. I said, like, it seems so random that they covered that. The more I think about it, the more that actually doesn't seem that random to me. It does evoke. It's shocking that they're not related, I guess is what I would say. The more I think about, like, it's a rather similar aesthetic to have be, not really aesthetic, but I just mean like visual storytelling style. The starkness, the bleakness, and the kind of uh, near future sci-fi slash cyberpunk graffiti symbolism that both things use. I don't know how to describe it better than that. That's a parlay for another time. Do you have anything else to say? I said a lot of things I didn't have to say in this parlay, actually, like bass and kick. 3 times yawning from saying those 2 words. No, it's gonna happen. Damn it. I can't believe that's happening so reliably. That's crazy. I'm gonna stop. This is freaking me out a little bit. Thanks for prompting this parlay, PistilWhip. If you want to get your own parlay like this, you could do so using a link in the description. I'll talk to you all later. I'm gonna yawn again.